So, what does a misanthropic twat sat behind a desk have to say about love? How dare you? I think love is a great thing. What with the invention of prophylactics and the abolition of arranged marriage, love is now needed more than ever to make sure that you breed and the manpower pool is maintained. Slightly cynical. This is a factual program, you're gonna learn a lot. Now the Romans or the Greeks or whatever thought that love could only occur by men for men. So, this is gonna be a bumpy ride. Women, strap on. Now love has been around for a long time, but I can't say it's been around forever because I don't know. Like I said, factual.
Those holes are supposed to be in it. You put your fingers in them, you numbskull.
I mean, maybe cavemen were very practically minded and they said, you clean, I'll cook. The idea of love has probably been around since people started clubbing each other to death. But in Western society, marriage, until recently, was based on social cohesion and mutual interest. I mean, it still is, obviously, just now there's the love hoop to jump through. But what is love? It seems like such an obvious question, but it's very hard to define.
Don't do it right, chop his head off.
I believe in love, I just think it's very rare. Let me tell you a story about what I think love is. I used to live in this shitty little town on the outside of London, and one day on the estate I lived, I was walking along and there was a man in his 60s face down on his lawn. So I went over to the guy and I could tell he was really drunk, so I left him there. About 2 days later, I saw him sat outside of his house on the floor with a bottle of vodka, and he had a huge purple eye. The day afterwards, I found him face down again, and he'd just fallen over. So I took him into his house because he was very confused. He didn't know who he was initially, and he didn't know where he was. I didn't spend very long with him, but it transpired that this guy's wife of about 40 years had died 2 months previously. This guy, Bill, already a little bit senile, I think, started drinking and never stopped. Bill had a son, and from what I could tell, his son would regularly come over and try to look after his dad. But his son, who I guess was about 40, had his own family too, and he couldn't be there all the time. But Bill wasn't on his own. Bill did have people around him, but it didn't matter, because Bill said to me, the love of his life had died, and he wanted to die. And he was going to die. He was drinking and smoking so much. From what I could tell, he wasn't really eating, and it wasn't a way of coping. It was a way of killing himself. He didn't think he would see his wife after he died. He didn't think he'd ever see her again, and he wanted to die because of it. And that's what love is. It's two people becoming one and dying as one. It is agony. And the worst thing is most people will never really know it. You see, the way love is represented, usually, is as this wonderful happy thing that makes people complete and allows you to saunter around in public places, like people kicked out of the dentist too early, you know, before the Novocaine wears off and the pain kicks in. Novocaine? How old am I? But love isn't necessarily a good thing. What if you're in love with someone who's dead? What if you're in love with a child? What if you're in love with a child who's dead? Infatuation isn't love, that's what they say, unless love is just long-term infatuation. You can't really love someone, I reckon, until you really know someone. You know, until you know their dark side. It's easy to love someone who's all sunshine and watermelons. The real test is when your partner becomes depressed, or when they lose their job, or when they say, you see this dot here, I got this in the Legion and it means I killed somebody off duty in a bar, and I'm more proud of this dot than I am our brown-bread kids. Let's go to the love master himself, Houston Bieber, for a more adroit explanation.
You're always gonna, I don't know, like, there's a difference between love and being in love, because you can love someone and not necessarily be in love. So, you know, I think there are loved girls, you know, but I don't know if I haven't been in love before.
And there's a difference between sex and being in sex. What do Victoria's Secret Angels have to say about it?
When a man loves a woman, he has to show her. Give me lots of compliments, that's a start. Treat you the way you should be treated. Men.
One time I came home and there was rose petals everywhere, and it was just like out of the movies.
Love means never having to say you're sorry. But
Fuck off! I'll save that one for later. I've had tortilla tacos with more substance than them. We're constantly being sold love, but it isn't really love. Can't explain love. You know what love is. Love is like a fuzzy feeling you get, it's life but like a little bit sweeter. It's just that feeling, you know. But you can explain love. Love is square. You've got infatuation, lust, self-preservation, and fear of loneliness. All those reasons, often in conjunction with one another, are why 99% of people who think they're in love are in love. I'm not saying they don't feel anything for each other. I'm not saying their relationships aren't valid. But what I am saying is that the idea that there are soulmates out there, that someone is made just for you, is bollocks. I like the idea, though, that a lot of people who think they're in love are just in love because they've been told they should be in love. Fucking hell, I hope my wife doesn't see this. What I mean is we're constantly being told we'd be happier as part of a duet. People are meant to be together. You can be happy. Simon and Garfunkel.
Tiny eyes.
The conspiracy theorist inside me wants to say it's so people are kept in their place, so they breed, so you don't get huge swarms of angry, horny men roaming around. Well, I mean, larger swarms. The reality is love, as we're sold it, is all about money. Some insidious company run by Scrooge McFuckhead has worked out a long time ago that it can make a whole lot of moolah if it sells suckers normal trips at 170% of their prices over Valentine's Day weekend. Florists put their prices up. Chocolatiers salt their nuts. Don't know what to buy the wife, sir? Chanel No. 5 is good, and it's only $500. Valentine's Day? It's a corporate tentpole. Of course it is. Christmas has just gone, and it's too far away to wait for Easter. People talk about how sex has been commercialised, but there's an honesty in that compared to what's happened to love. Show her you care. Buy her a ring, a table for two, a white wedding, a joint bank account, trinkets for him, trinkets for her, till death do you spend. Online dating now accounts for about a third of all marriages in the US. How much of that is really down to people being too cowardly to go up to someone at a bar and have them say, "No thanks, your breath smells like tuna, your face smells like tuna, fuck off." Online dating. Perish the thought that you fall in love with someone whose economic background is different to yours, whose bio you don't like, who believes something you don't believe in. Perish the thought that people actually have to go out there and be with people they like, when they can just fill in some forms and an algorithm will find the mirror images of their fat, boring selves. Fuck off! Of course, people too are cynical. Of course they are. Heard of a fat rich man getting married to someone 30 years their junior? Yes. Heard of one getting married to someone 30 years their junior with severe facial deformities but a heart of gold? No. In fact, it's very hard to find examples of people who've gotten married or settled down or gotten serious with people who aren't from the same socio-economic background. Maybe Prince William, but his options were kinda limited if he didn't want an heir that was the embodiment of haemophilia. In fact, talking of incest, I think a better modern equivalent, now that the European royalty are marrying commoners, is Hollywood. They all, whatever. What becomes of the broken-hearted? They die just like the rest. Also, I think I should do the paid bit now. This is English Lady, which may or may not be an oxymoron. It's a deodorant that contains pheromones. So wear this on singles night, and if that doesn't work, you can always sit on it. What is love? Lust, attraction, entrapment, obsession too. Go to the one you love. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything stand in the way of love.
I'll be coming